coming to the newspaper, I have two questions for you. A, which newspaper did you read? And B, did you make notes from the newspaper?
So I read the Hindu mainly through most of my preparation. Towards the end, I also shifted to the Indian Express, especially before my interview as well. But I think I did not make very rigorous notes out of the newspaper in terms of spending 2-3 hours just making notes of the newspaper. I used to read the newspaper religiously, and that was a habit I had inculcated right from school. I just liked reading the newspaper. But I used to make notes of only those things which I knew could help me in the paper. So using the syllabus to make sense of the newspaper. So if there's some article that I that I think is important for the paper, say something about fertilizer policy or any sort of international thing which is happening. So I used to use only those parts which I could use, and I used to make additions from them based on the topic from other sources. So I used to make notes of the topic per se and use the important bits from the newspaper within that topic. Similarly, for examples, I used to use the newspaper a lot. So say internal security, something has happened, some drone attack has happened, some cyber security attack has happened somewhere else. So I used to just write down this attack happened there, and use it in my internal security answer. Similarly for ethics. So I think that was a source. The newspaper definitely was a big source for me in terms of my answer writing as well, in terms of examples and things. But then again, those were not copious notes, but just additions I kept on making to the original notes I had made.
So please correct me if I'm wrong. So technically you did not make notes of entire issues. You just made notes from the value addition perspective.
I made notes of issues. I did not make notes of the newspaper article per se. So if there's an article, some people what they do is they just make notes of that article, whatever is in that article. If there's just one paragraph of that article which I feel is important from say any issue which is happening, say in interstate dispute which is happening. So I remember that interstate dispute is something I don't have notes of, so I'll make notes of that and then keep that center point. So I remember there was a very nice article about fertilizer policy which was in the news, and most of its points were important. So I made a one-page notes about fertilizer policy almost entirely from that article, but I added a few things from other sources which I thought in terms of the why and the history and the way forward from other sources. So issue-based notes I did used to make, but not something कि अच्छा आज का newspaper का notes ये है, कल का newspaper का note ये है, ऐसा नहीं.
So more issue-based and more value addition-based. All right. Did you also make notes for the prelims perspective?
For the prelims perspective, I did not make notes. I mainly relied on, so I used to just read the newspaper and remember whatever I had and the mains notes that I had. But I used to mainly use the yearly compilations.